And I'm just like, okay then. Anyway, I'm playing Red Dead on a 4K TV and it feels weird because the simple fact that, only reason it feels weird to be playing Red Dead on the 4K TV at the moment is because I was on a small TV for the last live stream, which was like 18 hours, so no one really, you know. People watched it, but it got banned because there were naked paintings of women in this one mission. And I didn't know about it.
Lovely man.
Calm down, miss.
Oh, come on, let's go. We ain't got a minute to lose. They killed her.
Yeah.
They killed Miss Calhoun. All she wanted was a better lot for women, and they killed her, those pigs.
Who killed her?
I don't know. My cousins, probably, or Beau's. Well, you met them. They're animals. Not even animals. Monsters. Monsters, if God had lost all his powers of imagination.
It's so hard to get highest honor level in Red Dead Redemption 2. Especially when you complete highest honor and then freaking people start shooting at you. You know what I'm saying? You just like, ugh. So I just hog-tied all of them and I was just like, screw y'all.
I ain't quite sure. They do so love hanging folk.
Where you heading?
Up to Boston.
Good. Yeah, I like you up there.
Arthur looks so sophisticated. He doesn't even look like a cowboy anymore. He just looks like a freaking rich man. I mean, I have $0, so I am a rich man. Almost to the very end, but I'm doing all the side missions because I gotta do the freaking, you know, all the freaking 100%. You gotta do all the side missions.
In the hope you'll show up. Or I'll show up to help you show up.
He goes to there every day he can. Makes up some excuse or other.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I kinda got pissed earlier.
He will. God willing.
But I calmed down because I started thinking about like YouTube shit, you know what I mean?
Seen him since the rally.
So, you know how that goes.
And he's waited or
Plus, here's one thing I never got about people, like political people. Sorry if like YouTube doesn't like it if I get into politics or if you don't like it. But I kind of feel this needs to be said. Yeah, I know, right? Who does that? Anyway, so...
Hello, my friend.
I'm ready for it. So, Rockstar Games, right? GTA 4, GTA 5, all Grand Theft Auto games, and every game Rockstar Games has ever made as a company has been frowned upon by politicians. They say it turns into gun violence, drugs, and murders being raised in America or whatever because they play the game. But I would like to point out a very solid point. I've been playing Grand Theft Auto 5 since I was 10 years old. I've been playing all Rockstar titles since then. Couldn't we use the argument that Grand Theft Auto and Rockstar Games is actually helping people stay off the streets because without these games, they wouldn't see what it's like in the streets?
Hey, our families won't let us out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Hey, my friend.
Yeah, definitely. Agreed. What's up, Manuel? Yeah. But I would like to keep... No, I had far from... Like, I have far from good parenting, but they were at least there enough to where it didn't slip, you know what I mean? Like, my dad, he went on complete blackouts and raged a lot, but from seeing that or whatever, like, you know how Trevor would rage and kill a whole town of people? My dad would do shit like that, but without murdering anyone, because we'd always calm him down before he got to kill anyone, but you know what I mean? It depends on how good your parents are at pulling you away from that. Yeah,
That business with Aunt Catherine and my cousins. You saw the house.
Yeah, then my uncle was like a drug dealer as well, and one of my cousins.
So much bloodshed. You'd think this could be a new beginning?
Yeah, exactly.
But everyone left alive. They're even more angry.
I agree with that.
Maybe anger's a complicated thing to let go of.
Something good has to come out of this awful, awful feud.
That's what I've been hoping.
Beau and I have to be better. Our families were here for years and years. Sometimes I feel like we
Yeah.
can't just leave death and pain and ruination behind us.
The Parkland one, his parents had mental issues. They allowed him to have guns, and then he just got bored.
As far as it goes, get out. Don't look back.
And then there was also one thing I was thinking about, because my uncle, he used to do drugs. He used to do drugs. He used to do all the drugs, basically. He controlled the drug market for a long ass time in his town. My cousin Wayne, he saw what my uncle was doing. He also stole a bunch of shit too. So basically, complete Grand Theft Auto mode in real life. My cousin Wayne saw what he was doing and ended up doing all that shit and ended up in jail. He's in jail right now. I saw all of it, and I turned out just trying to make success or whatever, and try getting the other cousin out of his, stay, because my uncle got out of it too, because he was like, if I keep this up, I'm going to end up getting killed. Because he's seen so many of his friends get shot in front of him, and he wasn't able to report it, you know what I mean? Just because it was illegal activities. But, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's all in the influence, which is what you're saying, basically.
Something decent in your lives.
He's a good man, isn't he, Bo?
There are worse.
He's kind, and he's caring, and he's strong. There he is. Oh, it's him. Will you ride on the train with us a little, just to the first stop?
Fine.
You came!
And they're playing Red Dead Redemption 2 or whatever, or Grand Theft Auto 5. And then their parent is like, fuck you, I never wanted you, you piece of shit, you're a lazy ass whore. Or like if they're a girl, they'd be like, whore, or you're a lazy ass motherfucker. And then next thing you know, they go out and kill people. Because their parents had bad parenting.
Bo, Arthur's gonna join us.
Exactly.
I think we need the support.
I had like,
Could you buy the tickets
I had
Oregon? We can't chance
decent
being
parents,
seen.
but they were good and bad at the same time, you know what I mean? Like they were always, like the stuff I own, like I was mentioning the Xboxes and stuff I have and the PlayStations I have and stuff. All that became to me because my dad kept working over and over again, and that's the whole reason I'm doing landscaping right now.
Hello,
To
sir.
afford paying for like, stuff like that.
Not terribly.
Like the cards, the
Good to see
PlayStation cards,
you.
the Xbox cards, the Nintendo cards. I pay for that, they just buy me the consoles or whatever, and then I use it for YouTube. And then,
Excuse me, Alden.
like, that was something good they did, but a bad thing they did is my dad threatened to kill the girl he was sleeping with because he cheated on my mom, and my mom beat him with a cane before they got separated, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's like, it just depends on how you yourself think about it.
Miss, I got this.
Does that make any sense?
Come here, Yankee. With pleasure, you goddamn fool.
So like, a lot of these things could be prevented if people... Well, I don't think you could really prevent incidents like that, can you?
Get on the train, Bo. Go to your woman.
Yeah, definitely, like...
Fists and maybe one brain.
The only way you could get therapy, though, is if the person admits they need help. You know what I'm saying? True, if they catch on early signs.
If that is.
Oh, now there's only one of you.
Yeah.
Please get on.
Exactly.
Quick, come up on the train.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have to pay our tax money, and like once we're adults or whatever, we got to have our tax money used on, these people in prison who don't really deserve to be in prison because stupid mistakes. You know what I mean? Like, say a man hits a woman or whatever, right?
My uncle used
But
to say
that woman
things
was
were
beating the
better
hell
the
out of
way
him.
they were when he could rape and
Does he
kill
need
with
rehab,
impunity,
or is that
and
the
he
woman's
didn't
fault
have
and
to
should
work
she
a
be
day in
locked
his
up?
life.
You know what I mean? Or I'll use this as an example, even though this is kind of more of a personal story. My cousin, the reason he's in jail right now is he hit his mom, right?
Well,
Yeah.
how'd the life?
I'm streaming, but I don't really care because everyone knows about my cousin doing this because he's in jail. So anyway,
My second cousin.
they posted this shit, right?
Goddamn
These motherfuckers or whatever,
They
right?
found out about the jewels.
They didn't realize, even though my cousin's in jail, every one of my family members who's not in jail still loves my cousin and protects him. Even his mom didn't really give a fuck that she got hit because she understood he blacked out and got pissed. You know what I mean? So anyway, he gets out of jail. He goes talking to his mom. His mom starts pissing him off, yelling at him, shit like that, right? He punches her, ends up in jail again, which is why he's still in jail. Anyway, so then next thing I know, I see his ex-girlfriend, because they broke up immediately after that, even though this girl was on meth and all this other crazy shit, LSD, all that shit. And his ex-girlfriend, her new boyfriend, posts something like, look at this piece of shit, puts my cousin's name, tags me in it or whatever. So then I basically took and got my uncle to look at the post or whatever. And my uncle, I shit you not, wanna know what he says? He says, one thing, me and his other uncle are gonna come beat the fuck out of you motherfuckers for saying this shit about our nephew or whatever, right? And then two, he said he's either gonna force my cousin once he gets out this time to either go through rehab and get off all these drugs and shit he's on, and go get a job, get a house, and build his fucking life up because he needs to do that because he's in his 20s. You know what I'm saying? Or he's gonna beat the fuck out of him if he says otherwise. So there's a certain point when decisions you make have to be, am I crossing the line for a bad thing or am I crossing the line for a good thing? You know what I mean?
Jules, I knew you had some damn skills.
Apparently she was like yelling at him and some shit happened or whatever about his child because where he was in jail, he got out and then his girlfriend wanted to hang out with him. His ex-girlfriend basically fucked him up there and his mom yelled at him because of his ex-girlfriend and then he hauled off and hit one of them. Punched her directly in the face. Really bad bruise, really bad bruise. In my opinion, if he was gonna hit anyone, it should have been the ex. Yeah, I don't get it, like, why he was defending him, but it was because, like, everybody in his town was starting to call him a piece of shit loser for that, and then my uncles were like, hey, it's one mistake. Yeah, I kind of agree with that, because my uncle, he's barely bigger than me, but here's the only problem with our family. Yes, you're right. Yeah, and the only thing is, the ex-girlfriend of his said it was, she got in his face or whatever and started pushing him, but then my uncle was like, no, he literally just punched him for no reason because she was yelling at him. And it's just like, well, damn. And he said the only reason he did it was because it was the drugs or whatever. And everyone was calling him a piece of shit or whatever, right? Like in his town. Which, you are right, right? He is. The thing he did was something someone who is a piece of shit would do. Only problem is, he typically wouldn't have done that shit if he wasn't on drugs. But the only reason he was on drugs is because of this ex-girlfriend of his. But he keeps getting with these bad women. You know what I'm saying? And it's really fucking stupid because they're fucking him up in life. Especially when you could get someone way better looking. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense? Yeah, you make bad decisions when you're on cocaine, LSD, and all that stupid shit. Which is why I ain't never done drugs. And the one time I did like drink any alcohol, I was forced to drink the alcohol because my mom's new boyfriend or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Hold up, I'm trying to kill some horses in Red Dead. But my mom's new boyfriend was a fucking moron, and he was like, chug this liquor, and I was just like, no, and put it back down, and he was like, no, you chug the liquor, and I was like, no, and put it back down, and then he forced me to drink some of the liquor, and then he just kept saying, chug the liquor, and I was just like, well, fuck you. Then I told my dad about it, and the thing is, here's the problem with my family. Here's one serious problem with my family. My dad, his dad, which is my grandfather, which I never met my grandfather, and I don't ever want to fucking meet this guy. This grandfather of mine, so-called grandfather or whatever, he was a member of the Hells Angels, right? And then, coming to find out, this guy my mom is starting to date or whatever, his father as well was one of the leaders of the Hells Angels. So then you got me being the grandson of my Hells Angels fucking gangster granddad, apparently. My dad, who has a bunch of issues because his dad fucked him up because he's seen robberies, bunch of other shit when he was younger, like before you were even supposed to know about any of that shit. Having anger issues and bipolar and shit like that, and then you got me trying to make sense and pick up all the pieces and fix that shit. You know what I mean? Uh, and then you have my mom dating this new guy, and my dad gets with another woman or whatever because they got separated. This woman or whatever, her family owns a farm and is like successful and stuff, and my dad's doing better. My mom's doing better as well because she's not arguing with my dad every day. But then she meets this guy named Billy or whatever, and his dad is apparently one of the head leaders of like division of the Hells Angels or whatever. And I'm just like, Mom, you do not see how this is gonna cause a huge ass problem if you end up with this guy. Cause my dad's dad is a fucking member of the Hells Angels. The other guy's dad is a member of the Hells Angels. That's gonna fucking collide if they all four get in a fucking argument. You know what I mean? So it's hard to keep it civil when you're in the mix of all that shit. But at least I'm not doing gang shit on the streets. I'm over here playing Red Dead Redemption 2, Grand Theft Auto, and live streaming on YouTube, which is something politicians argue has influence over shootings or whatever. But you got to think about it like this: a majority of people, if they have family members who are in gangs, by the time they're my age, they're already in that gang. You know what I mean? But for me, it went different, and for my dad, it went different. My uncle, he's slipped off a little bit, but he's on track now. So it's like weird because I really have no idea what to do there, but for the purpose of the debate that we were having, video games I don't think cause violence. I think they just influence people who are on edge and already with bad crowds of people to fucking snap. You know what I mean? Because if you can't relieve your stress on a video game, you gotta get help. And if you don't get help, you end up killing people. You know what I'm saying? Or if you can't relieve your stress by working out. There's lots of things you can do to relieve stress, but how mad do you gotta get to reach that point? You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's not racist at all to me, but it's typical of white men to have dumbass family members. You know what I mean? And to shoot up buildings because influence, blah, 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 blah. It is true. Which, I can't say anything about that because I well, my ex-girlfriend, when she was with me, she goes and she says, I don't need you, I can get anyone I want. So I think about it for like 5 minutes straight, and I couldn't let it go, and I threw a plate at a wall, and she said, oh my god, why'd you do it? And I said, because you said you didn't need me, you could get anyone you want. But I mean, she's an ex-girlfriend now because she broke up with me, so she could work on herself, and I could work on myself, but like, no, I never hit her. I never hit her one bit. She said I did, but I never did. I never ever wanted to hit her. All I really wanted to do with her, to be honest, is make out with her. If I'm gonna be honest. But she always started yelling sometimes, and I'd just be like, okay, let's just not do this shit. You know what I mean? Nah, she always did want to make out with me. It's just she'd always. Here's what she'd do. She'd always want to have some sort of sexual interaction, right? But then, before it got like too far or whatever, she'd be like, "Let's stop," and then I'd just be like, "But we're already," you know what I mean? And it's just like weird. It was a weird circumstance of all that because she always wanted sex, but then she also never wanted sex at the same time. It was always weird because then after we'd have sex, she'd be like, "I felt like I was forced to do that," and I was like, "How the fuck were you forced? You asked me to do it." You know what I mean? And then it's just like, well, fuck. Do you know what I mean? It's like, if you don't want to have sex, tell me you don't want to fucking have sex and don't have sex. But then she was like, but I was horny. And I was like, but if you were horny. I'm 16 and she was 15 at that time. She was... Yeah. Yeah, she's this girl right now. She'll turn into a woman eventually. The only reason she's not sure what she wants is because, like, I had anger issues at the time because my mom and dad were going through a divorce, which this was a few months ago. My mom and dad were going through a divorce, right? And her dad was never really talking to her about anything but her stepmom and whatever her stepmom was fucking doing. So then we met, got together, and then you know how shit goes when one person's like, both of us were still acting like a boy and a girl all the time, but now I'm turning into like trying to figure stuff out to grow older, if that makes any sense mentally. But at the same time, you know, she's also trying. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. The military, dude, the military. I was actually texting the sergeant, like the recruiter guy. Oh yeah, I heard about that. I know they throw you away or whatever, but the thing is, I feel like I already have good enough references as it is. But I'm gonna try going to college just for some things, if colleges still exist in a few years, because 2020 is really ushering. Yeah, it's really ushering in our digital era that we should have had since 2010, in my opinion. Because in 2010, we should have all been doing Skype classes. We all should have been learning online and all learning digitally. Because we've had access. Here's what my math teacher said. My math teacher, Mr. Scott. Sorry for saying your name, sir, if you ever watch this video. But, first day we do our digital Zoom lesson. He goes, look, if any one of you fail any of these classes, I will be highly disappointed in whoever fails because all the information is right on your fingers. Like, you could use your phone, type it in Google, and figure it out. It's not that hard, guys. You know what I mean? So he was like, I expect everybody to pass this year. Exactly, and that kind of. And that pisses me off, to be honest. That pisses me off a lot because here's the thing. Yes, sir. And then we have homeless people, and here's what fucking happened to me. I posted on Facebook, I was like, why don't we just take the military, and since we fucking spend everything on the military anyway, say most of our budget besides, like, entertainment is the fucking military, right? So you put education, military, you put, food and shelter and water, military budget. Just put all that right there, and then, what's it called? You use all the money classified as military, you just put it toward food, water, education, shelters, all that stuff that we need as humans, start helping other countries, and then there's an immigration crisis. Why the fuck don't we just buy Mexico? Like, seriously, every time I bring that up, everyone's like, that won't ever fucking work, but couldn't we build them the fuck up since we're the most powerful nation in the world? And then white people are always like, here's, here's what I fucking love about Mexico. Here's what I fucking love about them. World War II happened, the Germans said, hey, we fucking attack America from down here while we fucking try and get them on the eastern seaboard and western seaboard with Japan. And what Mexico said? They said, fuck no, this is our fucking territory, bitch, and you're just gonna take us if we fucking let you take America, so no. And then even Canada said fuck no because fuck them, you know what I mean? Superpowered them. And even the Mexicans, and then Mexicans and Native Americans, they helped us even though we fucking destroyed them. And the African people, they also helped us. They were all here before us, basically. And they even helped us afterward, even though we treated them like shit. And we don't pay them any respect. It's stupid. I hate people who say kick all Mexicans out. They're fucking illegals. Cause this one person, she actually works for my mom or whatever, and she cleans the whole house or whatever. And she was talking about her factory jobs, how the Mexicans stole her factory jobs. And I said, here's the thing: if you're a white person and a Mexican steals your fucking job, you deserved your job to be taken. Cause that Mexican likely has family down in Mexico, a wife and children just like you, or a husband and children just like you. And they need to make money for their family. So if they come here and they outwork your ass, I'm fucking firing the white guy. Yeah, I fucking hate that too because here's the thing. Rednecks are like, rednecks are like, rednecks are like, well, my. Yeah, exactly. Rednecks like other rednecks. Yes, sir. Native American. All the Mexicans and all the African people. And here's what I fucking exactly. Exactly. And here's what I fucking hate about that shit. We say everyone doesn't deserve, like, not we as in all white people, but most white people or most government people are like, Mexicans don't deserve this much pay. Bullshit. Women don't deserve this much pay. They're on their period and getting pregnant half the time they're working, so they deserve more pay than men, to be honest. Mexicans are always working on the fields now. African Americans are the business owners. The white people, fuck them. You know what I mean? Like it's not fuck them. It's like, yeah, the ones who believe they're superior and are like Africans should be slaves and shit like that. That's what I don't agree with. The only, yeah. Well, you see, here's the only thing. Italians. The only white. Okay, this is how I feel about white people. Here are the only ones who are going to be able, which I have a lot of this kind of genetic in me, so these are the only white people who can compete with those like Mexicans and African American people or whatever. And Native Americans, because Native Americans are strong as shit, is the people like me who have Native American grandmothers, Cherokee, Native American, Italian. I think there may be some sort of Russian in there somewhere because that maybe German. I have no idea what that means. I haven't learned. Basically, I have a bunch of like, cause my fucking grandfather, the one I told you was in Hells Angels, when he was out biking, he was fucking every single woman he met. Basically, if they would give consent, he would fuck those women. And now you have me and a bunch of my cousins just running around fucking shit up. Like for real, for real. Like we're not fucking shit up. We're trying to make shit better because we recognize like, hey, a lot of people have been fucked up by our grandfather's actions, so why don't we help these fuckers out? You know what I mean? And then even my grandfather, he's still alive, and he's just like, he says he's not a part of the gang anymore, but we know better than that. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. And like they're doing international drug dealing. The thing is with drugs, if we make them legal and limit them, I think we'd be fine. Cause you got to be under a lot of influence. It's like alcohol. They say if they say you can't have more than 2 beers, or you like will go berserk and black out, basically. Weed, weed should be regulated. Meth should not be regulated. I don't know about cocaine. Yeah, cocaine could be. Here's the thing: if we put cocaine in these medicine tablets, it's just the same as every other drug.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, definitely. LSD, I don't know about either. Good. I think we should say LSD, you get to use it one time and that's it. And that one time should be when you're 30. Yeah, exactly. I never even thought about that. Like the hippie, as long. Okay, how about this? Whatever hippie. Dude, I like these people or whatever because people are like, help these Trump supporters are like, help the small businesses, they're getting shut down, and I'm just like, you're just not working the motherfuckers who are coming up. That's what it is.
Grown family blind. They're coming from behind the train. I killed my cousin.
Yeah.
She touched the parade. Son of a bitch.
I'm kind of interested in that, to be honest, because if I knew how to work with bees or whatever, I would be able to sell honey into stores and stuff, like small stores, because I'm friend. Well, I mean, my dad's girlfriend owns a farm, but I might just work there for like a year just to help him out, and then go somewhere else.
Check the ridge.
Dang, bro. Oh, dude, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Jewel, I knew you had some damn.
So basically, people like me and you have been ready for the coronavirus pandemic anyway, because my dad or whatever, he was like training me how to mow grass and mow yards since I was been 12, and now he separated with my mom and he's in West Virginia now, and I'm over here doing the mowing business, but I'm also doing YouTube because YouTube subscribers eventually will equal money, you know what I mean? And then I'm also doing Twitch as well, and then yeah, and then I'm making suggestions to all my teachers or whatever about how to improve the school and stuff since we're like not in school and I'm used to the online market anyway. Teaching them how to use Zoom and shit might work. You know what I mean? Oh, and then I met this photographer. He was like 160 for 20 photos, and I was just like, why not do 20 photos for $20? Because you make more money and it'll be faster that way for each model. And he was like, 160 it could be 1,000, and I was just like, that's a horrible way of looking at it. Because if you're really good at photography, like after talking to him for like just 5 minutes, I knew I could shut his business down easily if I started my own. But I need to find a model to, take photos of, because if I'm gonna do that, I need to have 20 photos of one model, and then everyone else will start. Yeah, you get what I'm saying.
The amount of your cousins is here.
Exactly. And photography's really been going out, but really the thing is, this guy was talking about how it's 160 or whatever, and I was talking about using an iPhone, and to use this an iPhone, it's not worth $160 for 20 photos for me to just switch the lighting and take your photo, you know what I mean? That's just kind of stupid. It's only worth $20 if you're using an iPhone or Samsung. I would understand 160 if you're using a professional camera, but the guy's using an iPhone. Does that make any sense? So I was just like, cause okay, would you pay a guy $160 to take 20 pictures of you with an iPhone, or would you pay someone $20 to take 20 pictures of you if you couldn't do it yourself? See what I'm saying? It's a better deal. Exactly, like if, like... Exactly, if it's your own photo shoot, that would be like 20. If it was a wedding, it could probably be 50. Exactly. Well, I mean, you might. Some people got married and used iPhones for their wedding photos. A lot of people, actually, in recent years. Well, it's because Steve Jobs did something so innovative, why wouldn't we use it? You know what I'm saying? And then Google, like, wonder what I like about Steve Jobs? Even though he died, even though he's dead and is long gone, but Nintendo paid for his technology, basically. Samsung paid for his technology. Google paid for his technology. HP paid for his technology. All these TV companies are paying for his technology, so that it'll all be touchscreen and easier user interfaces. Schools are paying for his technology. His family is set for life now. And his company. Like, even if they were to stop making phones, they wouldn't need to make phones for another 20 years, and they'd still be fine. Because everyone's using Apple technology now. The Wii U already used it, and Nintendo Switch is using it. Sony could use Sony's haptic feedback on the PlayStation 4 on your controller, and they put in the DualShock 5. iPhone. You know what I'm saying? So he really, really made one of the biggest inventions in history, to be honest. Like, some people might argue that, like, it's as bad as or as big of an invention as the will and stuff like that. But, like, I don't think you could say something as good as the will, you know what I mean? Because you gotta think about it like this. Without fire, the will wouldn't have existed because we would have froze to death. Without damn it, someone died. Fucking moron, stop getting shot, duck. Bo, stop getting shot. Anyway, as I was saying, without fire, we would have froze to, actually no, without hunting, we would have starved to death. Without fire, we would have froze to death. The humanity would have been over. Without the will, and then now we took 7 billion people and they all live on the same planet. If we keep, what's it called? If we keep expanding on the human race, eventually it's gonna end up under 1 billion people. Everyone's gonna... I believe in God, but here's the thing. I hate how Christians are like, Allah is not the Muslim God. Whatever you call it, the Messiah isn't the Jewish God. Who's to say Jesus didn't take different names? You know what I mean? Because the Bible... Yeah, Jesus definitely wasn't white, dude. He was in fucking Africa. You can't be white and be in Africa. You can't stay in Africa for more of a year and think you're... What's it called? They did. He was Jewish. He was most definitely a Jewish guy. And here's what I fucking hate about all religions. And this is gonna sound really disrespectful or whatever. Jesus was Jew. He was Middle Eastern. Christians hate Middle Eastern people, so that's technically sinning. So I don't really give a fuck if I sin anymore because Christians have been fucking saying shit and starting war with people for years or whatever. But like Christians, Jews, Muslims, who's to say God didn't have fucking different names? And here's why you could argue that. My name, Austin. What I call myself on YouTube, Aust Gaming. What I call myself on Instagram, DanX Aust. What I call myself on Twitter, Brisk Aust. 4 different names for one. Yeah, 4 different names for one person, all the same story for me, and everyone's based off God. So why the hell isn't God just everyone's religion and everyone just always argues over it? You gotta think about it like that, you know what I mean? If I can nickname my friend a bunch of shit like Cadence. Cadence is his name. K-Dog the Kid, 23 is what we call him on PlayStation sometimes. YBW K-Dog, his Instagram name. K the Kid. 4 different names for another person right there. So who are we to say that Jesus didn't put all these different names knowing people would go like against each other about it? So eventually someone will come along and be like, hey, it's all the same person. If you notice, it's all the same story. Like the Abraham story, all that's the same or whatever. But all the religions are different. Like all the religions may be different and believe different things to get to heaven, but no matter how you look at it, if you believe in any type of God, you're going to go to heaven. And you also got to look at it like this: if you live a bad exactly, but here is the argument of that. God says there's a heaven and a hell. If you go to hell, you still have eternal life. If you go to heaven, you still have eternal life. If you rot away into oblivion, you still have eternal life no matter how you fucking look at it. Because you'll turn back into dirt, you'll be on the earth, you'll be space dust till the end of time. I don't know if I fully believe that, to be honest. It means you have different religious viewpoints, but you also may have atheist-ish views, or... Oh yeah, I could agree with that, to be honest. I agree with that, because ever since I understood like death or whatever, it's like, like, here's the only argument I have against death, but this is personal experience only. When my uncle shot himself in the head and blew his brains away because he was fucking depressed and he was drunk or whatever, and my cousins and my aunts and uncles, they had to clean that shit up. They cleaned it all up or whatever. They said they felt a fucking evil force so strong in that trailer after he shot himself. It was unbelievable. It was like he turned into a fucking demon. And then feelings. Exactly. That could have been just trauma. And then they said when my grandpa died, when they were all around or whatever, they said they felt. Yeah, and then. Oh yeah, we're about to get into the conversation. But anyway, he, they start talking about how like felt like he was relieved, he was happy, he was in peace, he was making all this or whatever. And then when my grandma on my dad's side died, it felt like she may have went to hell and then bounced back and went to heaven somehow because the way she lived her life was fucked up until the end of her life. So the whole time we were staying in her trailer because we were organizing shit, it felt like there was an evil but yet good spirit looking after us. You know what I mean? But here's the thing: spirits or whatever. Who's to say it's not just the way you fucking feel overtaking all your other emotions because you're just in shock the person died? You know what I'm saying? And then when we talk about ghosts and demons, I do believe demons exist because I've actually seen shit happen or whatever to where I could have the belief demons exist. But here's the fucking thing with demons and ghosts. No matter how you look at it, no matter how much they fuck with you, when you die, you really only get three options. You can either go to whatever the quote unquote heaven is, whatever quote unquote hell is, or you could just fucking live in darkness and disappear for good. But here's the thing: if you disappear for good and live in darkness, the universe, yeah, that's not a bad thing, and here's why it's not a bad thing. If we were really, 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 really made in God's image, when we die, we're able to do whatever the fuck we want. You gotta think about it like that. Heaven, hell, or you go into oblivion, no matter what the fuck you believe, you still have eternal life. So who's to say if you go to heaven, you live with God. If you go to hell, you live with Satan. If you go on your own path and end up in eternal darkness, you get to be the light. You get to be who the fuck you want to be and create everything you fucking wanted. Kind of like a simulation. Because, here's the thing. The Big Bang happened, the universe is ever expanding. Who's to say when people die, another fucking Big Bang does not happen and that we're unaware of everywhere in the universe and it's just lighting up every time people die or whatever? It creates fucking everything. You know what I mean? Because we still have the argument, like we're talking about God or whatever, we still have the argument, who the fuck is God? Who the fuck created God? You know what I mean? If there is a God, who the hell created him? More importantly, who the hell created us? And someone had to create God. You got to know that for a fact. Yeah, exactly. You gotta think about it like this, because everywhere in the universe that humanity has observed so far, because we don't have a fucking massive telescope up there on our solar system yet, but we'll probably have that in 100 years, and we'll know a lot more shit. But anyway, you gotta think about it like this: no matter where we go in the universe, if aliens exist or not, everything applies. Everything applies the same way. Who the fuck said everything applies the same way? I think aliens exist, but who the fuck said everything applies the same way? Because it can't be us, it can't be aliens. We can't say. And the thing is, since I'm on broadcast right now, the aliens already fucking know what we just said. You know what I mean? Like, they hear all this transmitting. We are the fucking aliens. Here's the thing, we are the aliens, but also they're the aliens. We are the aliens, they're the aliens. The thing is, right now, I think most people are worried about and can't agree on is we need to control all viruses if we're going to fucking make it to Type 3 civilization. Do I believe in the virus? Not after I called the CDC yesterday. And so I called the CDC yesterday, and I told them, this is exactly what I told them. I said, so I was doing my own, because they said, are you a doctor, or are you a student, or are you this or that? And they said, where are you calling from? And I go, I'm calling from my house because I went on Google and did some research. And they said, okay, so what do you want to know? And I said, if we gave all the COVID patients a flu shot or a cold medication or any type of vaccine we already have existing, it couldn't really do no harm because I've discovered the flu, common cold, and coronavirus all have. Sorry, YouTube, I know your algorithms don't like that. My bad. COVID, the Rona. They all have cough. Hold up, let me just grab the paper so I don't miss anything. I put the paper over here. Here it is. Are you ready for this? They all can spread easily. They all have fevers and chills. I'm going to turn on the air conditioner since I'm over here, by the way. They all have fevers and chills. They all have cough. They all have shortness of breath, difficulties breathing, fatigue, muscle or body aches, and you get headaches, new loss of taste or smell, congestion. You get runny nose, you get vomiting or nausea, you get diarrhea, you get pain and pressure, and they all spread easily, so they're all the same thing. And even tuberculosis is like that, even though it's rare. So really, all we need to do is figure out all the genetics of all these diseases, combine them into one super strand, and then eliminate that strand, and keep progressing our medical advances further, and then we can maybe cure cancer and a bunch of other shit. But when I called the CDC and brought that to their attention, they said, let me do some research. 2 minutes later, they hung up on me because they found the fucking... They realized some shit, basically. And I asked them why the fuck they hung up on me, but they didn't answer them. I called, like, the main CDC. CDC... Yeah, correct. Yeah, definitely. Definitely understand that. Yeah, it's definitely real. But if we gave... But if we gave them flu shots, couldn't at least alleviate the symptoms? I never had the flu yet. I got lucky. No, definitely not. But anyway, this is the cold and flu medicines like NyQuil, DayQuil, shit like that. I have no idea.
Exactly, because it's not that simple. A lot of those medicines are not healing you. They're not helping you at all. All they're doing is masking your symptoms and alleviating them. Now, when it comes to actually getting rid of the bacteria and the viruses, you actually need antibiotics, and that's when you go to the hospital when it's really bad, and they actually will prescribe you with antibiotics. Everything else is just NyQuil, DayQuil, all that stuff. Those are symptom relief. Those are not.
So, has anyone tried antibiotics on a COVID patient?
Yeah, they have prescribing all types of antibiotics all the time. And just so you know, I do have personal experience with COVID-19. My aunt did die from complications because of COVID-19. What
Damn.
happened with her is she already had underlying issues, right? She was in her 50s and she was already just a little older than me, right?
Yeah.
She had like COPD, which is a chronic respiratory issue, right? But as soon as she did get COVID-19, which is an active virus, and it was just like the flu, it gave her the fever, it made her sick, that exacerbated her already underlying condition, and she died. So she didn't die because of the COVID-19.
She died because of the underlying conditions.
Exactly, but
So basically, what we're saying is COVID-19 wouldn't be dangerous to people like me or you because we're not in a high-risk health group.
it could be dangerous though.
It could be, but it can't fully be.
Safely, you know?
You're
Because
right.
a lot of young people have died from it as well without underlying conditions. A lot of kids die
Hmm.
every day, you know? What I am saying is though, it's just like getting hypothermia, for instance, okay? So like if you have an underlying condition and you get hypothermia, you're done for.
Oh, my
If, if you have
my
an underlying condition and you get like a really bad case, that also can kill you. Think about it. If you've got a little old grandpa and he's already got
Oh,
diabetes and all this other stuff.
before you go on with that, I do gotta mention this. My dad's mom, who died in 2017, she had hypothermia back in 2015. She had to go to get dialysis for diabetes, and it kept continuing on and on. In 2017, they did dialysis, and then it killed her. But that's because she had all these underlying issues anyway. If she would have made it to 2020, she'd be dead by now. You know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? So no matter how bad your underlying issues are, you gotta be strong enough to fucking... Your body has to be strong enough, and your mental physique has to be strong enough to go through it. She ended up in a coma from 2015, like Christmas 2015, all the way to the end of 2016 because of that, and she only really lived out the last few months of her life
So what do you think
and going to
for
ambulances.
the
Oh yeah, I was gonna tell you that. I called CDC 800 CDC-info or 800 232 4636.
you just Google it right now, huh?
No, but that's what I actually called yesterday. When I told them this, they hung up.
That's funny.
Like when I gave them all my, like when I told them about all of it could be the same thing or whatever, they hung up, and I figured they just thought it was a waste of time.
I believe you. I don't want to call you a liar, but the thing is that number is for informational purposes only. They're not there to debate. They're not there to help you with your research. They're not there to get help with your research. Nothing. Informational purposes. Do you have it? What symptoms do you have? How easy is it to spread? Stuff like that. Instead of trying to debate things, which
Yeah,
I think your research is not founded properly. I do support your decision to research, and I will
I want to
support
do
you.
further research into it before I actually call the right number, but I wanted
I
them to know I was doing it first.
I definitely think you should. But the thing is, you have to have a degree in biology. You have to go to school. You have to have a lab where you can actually study these viruses and everything.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Cause when I was looking at all the stuff, I was like, yeah, this is the basics of it, but like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you all the stuff that I'm preaching to you. I'm not a scientist either. I'm not a biologist. Like you
Yeah,
said, I'm
to
just a clinician.
to me, the way I see it is, you were just a farmer and a pest control specialist, basically. I'm just a gamer who knows how to and a butcher. I'm just a gamer who knows how to do tree work, hedges, lawns, and happen to learn guitar and shit. None of us really have. That's only half of the stuff both of us know what to do. It doesn't define our personalities.
Not biologists.
Yeah, we're not biologists yet, but I did learn a lot in biology, and from what I learned in biology class was a bunch of shit about genetics. So I was thinking about emailing the teacher and being like, "Hey, what do you know about like the genetics of all three of these different things?" So I could compare them and then look at the data charts.
See, that's another thing that also goes on with information.
Yeah, cause have you noticed what's it called? Anytime anything happens, they're like, New York is the epicenter. Yeah, in a few hours after, well, not a few hours. Okay, whenever I get done with this mission and the next mission, because I kind of want to see what happens with Dutch. Anyway, what's it called? What I was gonna say real quick was, anytime there has been any kind of swine flu virus, vaccine, or anything, they're like, New York is the epicenter, Toronto's the epicenter, LA is the epicenter, San Francisco's the epicenter, this place is the epicenter, Richmond, Roanoke, all these different places, Miami, Houston, Britain, London, Manchester, they're the epicenters. The reason, or Mount Austell, for matter of fact, in Beijing and Hong Kong. The reason they're the epicenters is because, like as you were saying, everybody's been so crammed together. Anytime one person gets something, everyone's gonna get it there. You know what I mean? But for people like me and you who live out in the middle of like literally fucking nowhere at the moment, unless we make these towns something eventually. If we live in the middle of exactly, if you live in the middle of nowhere, you don't really get it. But if you live in the city, you get it. And if you've been to a city, you get it. If you don't go to a city, you don't get it. If you go to a city and come back, you likely will have the virus. It's just how humans work. And then you mentioned something about like the systematic racism and stuff. Black people are always crowded together. White people, shameful to admit, we always. Oh yeah, they did. They did all that shit too. Yeah, it's kind of fucked up when you're from families who have all like different mix of all the shit in you, because you're just like, well, fuck, you know what I mean? And then it gets even worse if I go out and like marry a Latino or Hispanic woman, because then it's just like, my kids are gonna be like, well, what the fuck was wrong with Grandpa, Grandma, and all your great ancestors, Dad? And I'm gonna be like, I don't fucking know they were white. You know what I mean? Like, what else can you say about that? Like, whenever I'm. And same for the Russians, you know what I mean? You gotta realize. Because I actually, m- yeah, because you gotta look at it like this, right? My grandfather and grandmother, they adopted my mom or whatever because my granny at the time could not take care of anyone, right? So she put all three of her kids up, except for my uncle, up for adoption because she finally turned around one of my uncles, because she finally turned around her life by the time she had her fourth kid and he was able to be raised by her. But anyway, so my grandpa and my grandma, the one who died or whatever, the grandpa who died, they ended up with being able to do real estate, selling houses over 100K, this, that. My dad's mom went to college or whatever after being done effing around with like gangsters and shit or whatever. She turned her life around up till the end of it. She was making dinners for us on Thanksgiving. She was connecting the family basically. My grandfather, even though he was in the Hells Angels, he's still kind of a good guy, even though he's fucked up in the past. Um, his brother and shit, they have advantages because they've worked all their lives basically, you know what I mean? But then my granny or whatever, she starts her own business because me and my brother or whatever, my brother ends up with a low level autism. So she starts her own business to help people out like that. And then next thing you know, you got me, I end up with all the shit from everyone basically. So my Xboxes, my TVs, my everything I own, I didn't get myself. I'm gonna make that clear right now. Everything I own except the cash I have, I didn't get myself, or any snacks I have. Everything but that, I didn't get myself. This house, my mom didn't even get it herself. She signed up for something like Habitat for Humanity or whatever and got it. White people, obviously, we have an advantage because our fucking, like, the work's been done. The work has been done since the 1700s or 1600s for us because we started making you guys do it. And it's kind of fucked up in a way because now we're at a higher advantage. Everyone's equal. but we're at a higher advantage still, and we're never gonna be all equal until we fucking get a president who's like, look, y'all get this shit. Yeah. Yeah, if you're a... Exactly. But if you're like my friend Manuel, actually, who was in the... Well, I mean, for me as a white guy or whatever, the thing is, like, the only way white people are gonna keep up with you guys breeding or whatever, which you are gonna find this fucked. It sounds weird, but the only way you guys are gonna keep up or have white people as a minority is if you literally have more than, like, you know how you guys have the Bloods and Crips and all they do is do drugs and shoot each other and shit? If they fucking just went out and fucked a whole bunch of women, that would have already been a thing, but it probably would have averaged at 50-50, to be honest. Minorities and white people would be at 50-50 and then it would clash. Oh yeah, but you brought up, yeah, but you brought up like breeding or whatever. Oh, then if we're talking about normal people who have like wives and shit, then like if we're talking about that, then obviously that's gonna happen anyway, because we live in America right now. Like the age group is supposed to go in triangles, so the old people are less, and then down you go, and all the young people are at. Right now, America is squaring out to where everybody, old people and young people, are all living at one time, and it's fucking phenomenal for medical people. You know what I'm saying? Because you got like my 80-year-old grandmother, well not my 80-year-old grandmother, my 70-year-old grandmother who was born at the end of World War II, who is still alive. My grandfather is dead though, and then you have people like my Aunt Chatty, which is my great Aunt Chatty, which is my grandmother's sister. She survived the Great Depression, World War II, Vietnam, all this shit. Her husband survived that shit somehow. You got all these people living still from then with experience, and then you got us young people coming up and starting all these problems, and they're just like, stop. No one fucking wins. You know what I mean? They're just like, fuck the neo-Nazis, fuck the fucking argument on race, fuck all that shit. We fucking cleared that shit for you. Y'all go fucking make something of the fucking world. Make us interplanetary species. Do whatever the fuck you want, and just don't fucking debate over race. Don't fucking debate over war anymore. It's stupid shit. You know what I mean? So since we're having Americans square out, it's like old people are telling us young people, fuck off. And we're over here like, yeah, exactly. And we're just like, why the hell are you telling us to fuck off for? And they're like, because we've seen this shit happen before and we don't want it to happen again to y'all.
Good for her, I guess.
Yeah.
Look! Behind us! Shoot him here! Shoot him!
Yeah. Yeah, I hate when dude, the fucking... Exactly, I hate shit like that.
Time to start this train again.
Look, is that the driver? He's abandoning us.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You know what I mean?
Right, take a look up front.
What will you do?
I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I understand that. And not every white dude also has, you know. whatever the fuck white people did. Yeah, that too. Oh yeah, that as well. A lot of stereotypes. Oh yeah, definitely. Hola, ¿cómo estás, amigo? Muy bien, muy bien. Sí. I learned a lot of Spanish. Like, I can understand what you said, but I can't directly repeat it back yet. Because I've learned so much in Spanish in 3 days over Zoom or whatever, it's mind-blowing to me, to be honest. I've actually, if you look at my comments, Manuel Martinez or whatever, I was talking to him in the comment section. He was talking about how he wants to come to America, and he likes these African women from Nigeria and stuff like that, and he wants to come to America, make something of himself. I just told him, I said, straight up, just do that shit. I was like, who the fuck's gonna stop you? Yeah, I know, but who... No, I didn't talk about Nigeria, I'm talking about him in Mexico or whatever. I'm just like, couldn't you, like, walk? And he's like, no, they'd kill me. Yeah, exactly. It's fucking crazy to me. It's really, really crazy to me, to be honest. And even the Native Americans, I feel it's really weird to me appearing as a white guy, having all this different kind of genetic blood in there or whatever. It's just like, well, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? I want all immigrants in. Like, I don't really give a fuck if they're Mexican immigrants. Do you know how much fucking land we have, too, for farming and all this other shit? The Native Americans recognize this, dude. Before we had 300 million people. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, and everyone's like, why the hell would you let me here? He's a fucking terrorist, he caused 9/11. No! Wonder who the fuck caused 9/11? Exactly, people like that, and here's what the fuck I don't understand about people like that.
It's best you go on alone from here.
Mr. Arthur, I didn't know you could drive a train.
Neither did I.
Arthur said neither did I.
If I'm honest, it was kind of fun. And
But
I
anyway.
didn't kill any of us. Well, I killed some of your relatives, but they would have killed all of us.
You
Well, damn, that's brutal, Arthur.
gentleman, sir.
Anyway, my bad, I'm watching the cutscene. Anyway,
Yes, you
as I was
are.
saying,
Here, I ain't got much money, but these sapphires
give me a
are
minute.
worth a
This
lot of
is
money. Old family heirloom.
Braithwaite treasure.
I'm gonna reject it.
I couldn't take it. No. Let's get you off to Boston before any more of your relatives show up.
That
Okay,
might be
now that I
wise.
watched the cutscene and rejected
Hey, you
the
there?
heirloom.
Yeah. This couple is heading up north to the
Why am I still watching?
Boston line.
Hold up, I gotta pause the game if I'm gonna pay attention to you. My bad. The graphics are so good. But anyway, as I was saying, whenever we were talking about whatever the fuck we were talking about, I kind of forgot because it slipped my mind. Immigration. Every person who wants to come to America to make this country better, or any country at all in the world, should be able to fucking come and make that country better. Because they deserve to. Because if you really think about it, they built America. Immigrants from everywhere. The only reason any of us exist is because some people in Africa were like, fuck it, I want to move. So really, the only reason the whole world exists is because some African guys were tired of Africa, moved out of it, and then white people came. Really? White people, Mexicans, no matter what, the border should be open no matter what. And if there are fucking... Yeah, Asians too. And the thing is, no matter what way you look at it, the only way we should fucking harm anyone is if they fucking harm us first. So like Osama bin Laden, and here's the fucking thing, as I was gonna say. People were like, terrorists did 9/11, it was all the Muslims. No! Americans did 9/11 because we paid taxes when we shouldn't have paid taxes, because Bush, the only reason Osama bin Laden had enough money to hop on a fucking plane over here and crash it into our towers, is because old man Bush, wonder what that motherfucker did? He sold a lot of weapons to the terrorists so they would kill the fucking Russians because he was holding a grudge over World War II. He funded them. He funded their whole operation. It was our fault. Exactly, we're selling it to kill the terrorists that we funded. What's gonna happen in 30? Dude, and then here's the thing with Bush, like Bush Jr. or whatever, the one who's responsible for 9/11 and all this fucked up shit that happens now. My bad. Yeah, I know, we're way too powerful to be honest. They're the only other two. They're the only other two. North Korea, the only reason I fucking... Here's the thing, if I became president and North Korea said, I'm gonna fucking nuke you, wanna know what the fuck I would say to them? I would say, I'm gonna nuke you, Russia, and China off the map because fuck y'all's tyrannical governments. And I don't care how many people die. And then North Korea would back the fuck down immediately because I'd just be like... I would, like, Trump's been doing it, everyone's been doing it for years. If we're gonna fucking nuke each other, we might as well have a fucking party with it. I'm gonna go on a fucking yacht and just be like, fuck this. You know what I mean? I'd be like, we wanna fuck up the earth so much, some of y'all get on a spaceship, get out of here, fuck this, we're blowing up the earth, you know what I mean? And then at that point it would be like, if there was a God would be like, hey, you're gonna stop this shit right now, you know what I mean? Because if you have someone that fucking insane in power...
I don't know
Oh
how
damn,
to
that's a
thank
gun.
you.
Hold up. But anyway, if you have someone insane enough to say they're gonna fucking nuke one of the other most powerful two powerhouses in the world, who also has enough, like, bombs to destroy everyone? Exactly, and then they'll send missiles. Whoever strikes first is gonna fucking kill everyone, basically. Yeah, because, like, think about it. Iran, Bush Jr. blamed him, the empire for nukes, and Israel may even have nukes, too, because they've been doing some research over there in that country. But anyway, if you really think about it, whenever, like, say America launches a few nukes toward Moscow, Beijing, Britain, because hell, if you, like, honestly, if you fucking launch nukes at Moscow as an American, like, no matter who the fuck you are, you should just be like, well, we're all fucking dead. You know what I mean? So basically at that point, you might as well just, if you want to do that, you might as well just go ahead and kill everybody on fucking Earth. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna go ahead and go through with a nuke, you gotta do that. Oh, dude, that would be fun. Exactly. It really is. That says a lot about the country, to be honest. I just went backwards to go forwards. Oops. Especially now, didn't you say he's 89 years old? And he has a World War II vet? Damn, bro. If you... Bro. If I ever end up that way in a truck, I'll definitely, like, maybe learn a few things if he's still around at that point. Oh yeah, definitely. Dude. So he's probably been in the Kentucky Derby a few times, right? Or nah? Dude. That's awesome. Does he still own any of them or no? Oh damn, that's nice. You could learn a lot from some of the people in this nation, to be honest. Like when you really think about it. It's really funny to me how I'm on a horse as you're talking about horses in Kentucky Derby, playing a game about how America was built. You know, this is actually like something that, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like the American dream or whatever is really, like, if you would have told our ancestors, like if you told any white guy's ancestors, Mexican guy's ancestors, Italian, like just anyone's ancestors, that their great-great-great-grandkids would be playing this thing called video games, or video hugos, if you will, together across the country through this thing called internet, or whatever, relating.
What do you say about upping the ante this time? Make it interesting.
Feeling good too.
Ha!
Yeah, exactly. And the one thing they have in common is video games. And then you see them playing, what's it called? Then you see them playing these games.
Bets off now.
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy killing you, cocksucker.
Exactly. If you tell like a, if you told a white guy, if you told a white guy in the 1800s that, they'd be like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
What now?
Or then if you told a Mexican guy the same shit, they'd be like, what the fuck? So anyway, talk to you later. Hopefully we'll be online with Tippy Jet soon, or we'll play Red Dead Online because I'm kind of wrapping up here. Oh, dude, we might play with him later, if, like, whenever you're done with your egg rolls. Yeah, I'm gonna get on GTA 5 after this live stream, to be honest, because I heard the summer update's pretty cool. Have you played it yet?
Dios santo.
So this Mexican guy in GTA 5 or whatever, not GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption, he starts shooting him because I shot too early at the bird, so now I just hog time and shooting around him because I don't feel like killing him. Because I got high honorability, there's no reason to kill people at this point. Oh yeah, Tippy, I don't think he doesn't recognize he's racist. He's actually had conversations with me about that. He's like, I know some of the shit I say offends people or whatever on your live streams, but the only thing is, like, and I know, like, sometimes you guys get annoyed with, like, how much I talk, because he talks a lot. But to be fair, we just had a 3-hour-long conversation almost, or 2-hour-long conversation, maybe. Yeah, doesn't he live in Michigan as well?
Did the university send you? Because if they did, they can get lost. I have never been so insulted in all my life. Really, laughed at. Balderdash. Are you quite certain you're not a spy? Those wretches will do anything to destroy me. My theories are correct, and I can prove it.
Yeah, definitely.
I am the leading amateur paleontologist in the nation, and not one university will hire me because, unlike them, I actually have ideas.
Honestly, I want to get For Honor so I can roll with y'all on that one day. I'm gonna get a PS4 Pro first, and an Xbox One X, and then I'll get For Honor. Well, I'm gonna get For Honor for Black Friday, actually.
Of course they're real, you nincompoop.
And then I'm gonna go for Platinum on
everywhere.
it, but I'm gonna get Xbox One X and PS4 Pro, and I save back some cash from this whole mowing thing or whatever.
Was once a vast,
You know what I'm saying?
shallow sea that had the most incredible animal that could walk,
Oh, yeah,
swim,
definitely, I will.
and fly. Quite unique.
Alright, gotcha.
I call it
Peace.
Totalis Horus. Just for now. I'm trying to gather all the evidence. This Deborah McGinnis.
Arthur.
Good to meet you. Could you give me a hand here, please?
Of course.
Yeah. Listen, if you find any of these bones around the country, send them to my homestead at Furwood Rise in Cumberland Forest. Or mail me the locations. I'll reward you handsomely for your efforts.
Sure. Why not?
And we'll be proving a lot of stuck-up buffoons very, very wrong. Which, trust me, is the very best thing about science. Good day to you, sir.
Interesting. I'll get that done as Arthur.
Yeah.
I won't have to worry about side missions and stuff in the epilogue, and I could just roam the praise and get my online trophies done. But first, let's get some more story missions to move the story along. I don't know what the hell I just did with that horse, but it is something. Cause this is a horse. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Arthur has tuberculosis, but you can't even tell. This is how you remind me of what I really am.
Hey there, mister. Yep. You're okay, girl. You okay, girl? Good work. Hey there! Hey, mister. Yeah.
Wait, what other missions do I have up here, actually? Just Micah and the Stranger mission up here. I'm gonna head up there and do that, I guess, soon. After this Micah mission, because Micah mission's gonna move the story a little bit further. And I got 100% complete, so I gotta get all these dinosaur bones before Arthur dies.
Yeah. Easy, girl. Out of the way!
Hey, mister! Help me! My horse died and I'm stuck here. You gotta help me, mister. Don't I know? No need for fancy talk, eh? Raise your hands, now! Hijo de puta! Ah, no!
Still think you're tough? Okay, my girl. Yeah. Hey, partner.
Hi.
Hi there, mister. Yeah.
Not mean to murder that guy.
Hey, mister. Whoa, easy. Yeah. Hey there. Was you followed? No. Was you followed? I said no.
Okay.
What is your problem?
What is your problem, partner? You don't look so good.
What is wrong with you?
Nothing wrong with me. I'm fit as a fiddle.
And I inside you ain't.
I'm just a realist, friend.
Micah reckons there's a rat.
Oh, does he? On what evidence?
He's only back a minute. Pinkerton show up.
We've been on the run since you two fools went crazy in Blackwater. We barely escaped with our lives in Saint Denis. Now we got a rat.
Well, Molly clearly talked, but who else?
Maybe we pushed things too hard. Maybe time for folks like us is past. We don't need a rat. We got sloppier than the town drunk, and they know who we are, and where we are, and what we're doing.
Way I see it, best thing we can do is let the week go. Move on, get our money, start over.
That ain't happening.
Well, something's gotta happen, and fast. Otherwise, Cornwall, them Pinkertons, they've got us penned in here, and ain't none of them stopping.
Well, Cornwall's why we're here. Shall we, Dutch?
Yeah, it's time to go. Let's head to the river.
Oh, leave Cornwall alone. He ain't... We need money, but revenge, now?
Of course it's for money.
Come on, Arthur.
This better not be no stupid revenge mission, Dutch. It ain't worth it.
Don't be ridiculous.
Oh, Arthur, it's just a simple social call.
This is so stupid.
So, what are we gonna say to him that needs to be said?
He has been hunting us since Valentine. He is the reason that Hosea got killed. His sugar business is destroying the people of Guarma. This town, Arthur, is his town. He bought it just to destroy these folks. His sugar, his oil, his law.
These are wrongs that you can't right, Dutch. We're wanted men.
So why did you go for John against my wishes?
I didn't want him hanged.
Neither did I.
We're gonna cut a deal, Arthur.
What are you talking about?
We want out, and Cornwall wants us to stop robbing him, and we all know his money is what's keeping the Pinkertons on our tail. He's America, Arthur, and I want out, and he won't let us go.
This ain't making a lot of sense, Dutch.
It will, son. It will.
When I'm
A
dead.
deal, some noise, and then we're gone. Cornwall's boat is arriving at dawn. We'll wait it out here. Get down behind these crates so no one sees us.
I want to thank you for your hospitality, Mr. Cornwall.
This was a business meeting, Mr. Milton. We are not friends. I have spent a considerable fortune with your agency, and still nothing. This Vanderlyn robs me and laughs at me. I asked for the best. I paid for the best.
We are very close, Mr. Cornwall. I know you've heard this before.
Chance, sir. Send a telegram to Goldberg in New York. Tell him I won't borrow it more than 3.2%. Sorry, no, I have heard it before. And get that army man to pay his portage charge.
Yes, sir. We are doing all we can within the confines of the law.
The law? I think we both know what you can do with your law. Find me Dutch Vanderlyn. Bring him here. And leave the laws to them as need them. Good day, sir.
Come along, Mr. Ross. We have work to do.
Mr. Didsbury. Mr. Cornwall.
Now listen up, Didsbury. What's all this about strikes? I bought into this mine because of mismanagement. And I intend to make it a success no matter what the cost.
It's the wages. Folk feel that you...
Feel? Business doesn't give two figs about feelings, sir, not two figs. It's a nonsense that will bring a plague on both our houses, sir.
Perhaps there is a plague on your house already, Mr. Cornwall.
What do you want, sir?
I'm not quite sure just yet.
Your impudence will be your undoing, sir.
I'm undone already. Even my best friend here, he thinks I'm crazy. And like this poor fellow you are talking to, my feelings are hurt.
You robbed me, sir.
And you robbed him. Funny world.
You show a criminal's grasp of sophistry, sir. I did no such thing.
You kill. I kill. You rob. I rob. Only difference I can see is I choose whom I kill and rob, and you destroy everything in your path.
I've heard just about enough.
I'll tell you what. You give me this ship, $10,000, and safe passage out of here, I'll let you live.
I'll do no such thing.
You sure? Good. I prefer it this way.
You lost your man! Noise, Arthur! Noise! Oh, shit! Pinkertons! What the hell have you done, Dutch?
Mike is going after those papers. Let's find him and get out of here.
I wouldn't have belonged for this either if my gang leader started a freaking attack on everybody.
We got what we came for. those papers. Let's go! Let's go!
Finally putting that. All out of business for good.
Oh my god, Micah got me killed by pushing me into the... I was doing so well. And Micah pushed me into the freaking fire. Jerk.
Cornwall's men are all over the place. Follow me. And stay close. You ain't getting out.
We had enough meat on us before. Now we're gonna be torched, Dutch. This is the only way. You'll see. Trust me. Trust you.
You sure you got the lungs for this, Morgan?
Shut the hell up. Here come more. Take them down.
It's weird when you get so confident in a game
You said this wasn't a
that
revenge
you
mission. It wasn't. We got what
don't
we
even
came
think you
for.
need
Those
to
papers.
take cover.
You put that.
Bro, there's a Gatling gun up here? So was that was that a Gatling? I think it was a Gatling.
Cornwall men are all over the place. Follow me and stay close.
We had enough heat on us before. Now we're gonna be torched, Dutch. This is the only way. You'll see. Trust me. Trust you.
You sure you got the lungs for this, Morgan?
Shut the hell up.
What dead on?
We got more up ahead. Clear us some space.
You're breathing your land.
You said this wasn't a revenge. It wasn't. We got what we came for. Those papers. Follow me. This way.
Finally putting that bastard Cornwall out of business for good.
You put...
Me? I just follow orders, Morgan.
Let's go. Let's go. Ah! More up top here. Gun them down. And let's get the hell out of this place. Up!
There'll be a shallow grave for you, Tenderfoot.
Come on. We can take the horses from that coach.
Look at those graphics with the fire, guys.
Let's go.
Well, at least we tried talking it out.
Boys, lost your minds. Oh, I felt a lot of guilt in this life, Arthur. I've killed too often and poorly, but not this time, son. Come on. All right, let's head for the hills, boys. They're trying to block us off. Go right.
Look out! We got more ahead!
Micah, it's no fun if you just shoot him. There we go, I got to kill at least one person.
They're trying to cut us off again.
Go left! Lose them through the river! Oh!
okay?
Interesting social call.
Oh, don't play dumb and superior at the same time, Morgan. We all knew, sooner or later, Cornwall had to go.
Let me see them papers.
It's more attention we don't need. Feels like the whole world's closing in on us. Dutch, it won't be long before they find where we're hiding out now. Especially as we ain't exactly hiding out.
We just need a distraction. Buy us some time. It looks like Mr. Cornwall's company has signed a railroad contract with the army. And they're also moving dynamite down from, well, the Annesburg mines to Saint Denis to resell. And there's bombs at his oil factory. Maybe there's a way to get them off our back and get the money that we need. Mike, you look into this dynamite. Take Bill, I guess. Arthur, you go too. We are gonna need a lot of it. And Mike, we need to talk. Figure out some things.
Of course, boss.
Figure out what?
The plan. Getting out of here. Nothing's changed.
It hasn't, huh?
There's an old house west of Van Horn. Meet me there when you can, Black Lung.
Let's split up. We'll meet up back at camp.
Yeah. This is crazy.